What's up? I'm Brian Connolly. I work for Nucanoe. I'm a marketing manager. We're a small-ish company, right? So we all kind of do a lot of different things.
What's up, everyone? It's Billy Kayaks here with Strictly Kayak Fishing. And oh my gosh, I'm here with Brian with Nucanoe. And Brian, we just wrapped up 3 days at the National Fishing Expo. Now I just dated the video. All right. If you weren't there, shame on you. We had thousands of people through the door, and we were set up in the back of the room, which was probably great. Everyone that showed up had bags, and you could easily approach people and be like, "What'd you buy? What'd you buy?" And then say, "Which kayak are you fishing out of? Which one do you want to fish out of?" And I know we'll get into it because there's a one that I want to talk about. But before we do that, how are you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here and excited to talk. I mean, it's my favorite topic, man. Kayak fishing and specifically Nucanoe. So I'm
I,
excited.
yeah, it was the same. My kids and my family are like, "You're going to be there for three." I'm like, "I'm talking about kayaks for
Yeah.
3 days." Like, what? Yes, that's what
Like
I'm going to
it
do.
doesn't matter if we're like on work at a show or on the street. It's the same conversations pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I think my girlfriend's cousin was like, "Hey, didn't you say your boyfriend was like into kayak fishing?" I was like, "Give me your phone," and I just started texting like if it
Like
was her.
immediately grabbing, like I
Yeah,
got everything. I have way too much information. I got a PDF for you. Don't worry
yeah.
about
This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Like, don't
it.
make the mistakes I made.
Yeah.
It really was cool because at a show like that where you have a dealer like Strictly Sail and Kayak down in Cincinnati, by the way, um, it's in 2026, you can't go wrong. Like if someone, it used to be oh, demo. And I'm not saying don't demo a kayak, people.
Yeah.
I just call everyone people. I don't know. It sounded right in my head. Um, but in 2026, like you really do ask the questions. Are you going to put it in a truck? Do you have a trailer? Do you fish lakes or rivers? And you kind of get a sense for like, are you just getting into it? Are you upgrading? But if you're getting into the sport, I mean, what's your price point? How serious are you? And like, you can't go wrong. There's so
Yeah.
many kayaks. There's big ones, little ones. Like, it's insane. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the industry's come a long way, especially from the kind of if you go back even 10 years. So today there's a lot of thought that goes into every model, and it's one of those things we talk about internally. If more people knew about all the options, we think more people would get in a new canoe. But that doesn't mean it's the perfect choice for everybody. But what we do well, and I think everyone in the industry at this point kind of does that.
Absolutely. And it does seem like there's a lot because if you read the comments or don't read the comments on YouTube videos or whatever, everyone's like, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that." And it's like, well, the manufacturers are listening. Like they're paying attention, and you can tell when a kayak angler was involved in the design of a kayak. And
100%.
yeah, and anyone who hasn't gone back to the beginning, like the New Canoe story and how you guys, and maybe we even get into some of that, but I mean, talk about innovation and a lot of the things you see in some of the kayaks now. It's like, well, New Canoe was doing that. And even with the self bailing, um, scupper holes and all that now, like, I think window fishing or someone said it best, like everyone's going to be doing that soon. It's like, well, you can upgrade and you can do that now. Buy a kayak that has it, and
Yeah.
we'll get into it. The Max has 16 self bailing.
Yep.
What, like what? That
Yeah.
it's got to be the driest kayak on. I'm like, spoiler alert. I'm just telling you. I'm so excited about the UMAX. Tell me before I get carried away. Tell me a little bit more about you and how you got into this industry, and then specifically with New Canoe.
Yeah, absolutely. So. For those who don't know, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Brian Connolly. I work for Nucanoe. I'm a marketing manager. We're a small-ish company, right? So we all kind of do a lot of different things. If you've talked to Blake at all, you know we're running around doing a lot of tasks. So I'm the marketing manager. I'm the team administrator. I run our headquarters up here in Bellingham, Washington, and kind of whatever else needs to happen as we're doing stuff. I started with Nucanoe 20, oh man, what was it? 2019? I, 20, yeah, that sounds right. And My background before this, so I've been an avid angler and outdoorsman my whole life. I actually came before this from the coffee sector, though I started a company down in the Portland, Oregon area in the coffee, so that's where I got a lot of the business. knowledge, graduated college as well. But when I moved up to Bellingham, Blake was actually looking for an intern. And I was exiting my coffee thing and I was going to finish my degree. And I was like, hey, this seems great. I emailed in and the position was already full. But I got Blake's email because he happened to walk by when I was on the phone with someone else. And I was like, who's that guy? And I got his email, and in his words, is either a restraining order or a job. And it was just like once a week I'd email him. We had a lot of phone calls. I kind of like was learning about his business and like what Nucanoe was. I was super stoked because I personally was just really into the product and trying to get my hands on. That was kind of my shift into the kayak world, right? So I was like, I had fished out of kayaks, but I wasn't super serious about it. I did a lot of backpack fishing stuff up in the PNW here. So once I moved up, I got like what he called a special projects job. I think my first thing was just like, hey, here's a bunch of like automated emails. Like, what should we do better? So I was like pouring through those, and then it just kind of grew from there. And it's been a super wild ride, taking on new responsibilities, new projects. One of my favorite things now is product design. I was super lucky to get my hands on the UMAX design and really spend some time with the prototype. It's been phenomenal. So that's one of my favorite things, and then I love working with the team.
Well,
Um,
I mean, congratulations on that. I talked about the expo already. I was able to see it, and you guys knocked it out of the park. I keep saying spoiler alert because I want to say all the things, but a
yeah,
hundred pounds, I can't
yeah.
believe it only weighs 100 pounds. I don't know how you guys pulled that off, but
It's been really exciting. I mean, I think we're gonna hedge a little above that with like the seat and all those things, but we try to keep it light, and it's there's a lot of internal struggle on those, right? Like there's like James is our designer, and like James and I were good friends, and I think we spent like upward of over a month just fighting, like about all the different details as they're coming down. But it makes a really good kayak at the end of it, and weight's one of those, like trying to push each direction for how people are gonna use it. But
I love that. And you said, the area of the country that you're from, it's probably as cold as it is in Ohio. Is Blake still down in Florida?
yeah, yep. Blake's down in
Yeah,
Florida. Blake
that
moved
guy.
down there a handful of years ago. I know, what a guy, man. He's just like having fun in the sun. While we're up here freezing in the Northwest.
And
But
then
it works. Oh yeah, go for it.
no, I have to ask, and I'm sorry, I'm all over the place with these podcasts,
Yeah,
but the Super Bowl's coming up, so I have to
yeah,
ask. Seahawks
yeah.
fan?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not like the biggest football fan, but I am a Seahawks fan, and I'm excited. I'm actually gonna be on a shoot down in South Florida. We this Saturday. We're doing a South Florida road trip.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I think we're gonna get wrap up shooting that day, and then try to get to like a sports bar or something to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, everyone here in Ohio should be, if you're not already, you should be rooting for the Seahawks. Jackson Smith and
100%.
Jigba, come on, that's our Buckeye. He needs to get himself
Yeah,
a ring. He's so good. All
yeah.
right,
It should be a good game. I'm excited for it.
it should be great. And then and for those of you watching this next week, you put in the comments who won. I don't know. Maybe this was horrible timing for me to say
Yeah, we're just
that.
talking it up, and they just get like stomped on. Yeah.
That's right. Maybe you had a lot of fun in a local sports bar. Um, yeah. So let's jump in. You know, I guess I got into kayak fishing like 2018, 2019, kind of around the same time you did. Strictly Sail and Kayak has had Nucanoe since I think 2017. Don't hold me to that, but so it sounds like you've and then I even heard Blake say they have like, well over 100, maybe 150 dealers nationwide. So you guys really have a great distribution of kayaks everywhere. So anyone watching this, there's no reason you can't find yourself a new canoe. Would you agree with
No,
that?
I was,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. So we definitely work on growing that dealer network. We've been pretty on it. We are selective with our dealers. We really want to make a good network and good partners as we go through that. But at this point, there's a good map. You can go on our website and find all those dealers. If for some reason you live in an area you can't, we do have some online dealers that we partner with. So there's a way to get a new canoe anywhere in the country.
Yeah, and Strictly can get the kayak to you as well. So it's not just Ohio. If you want one and you're outside the Ohio area or listening to this, you stumbled on this and you're not from Ohio, we can bring it to you. Maybe not Washington. but we can bring it to Washington. I was saying I can't bring it to
Hey,
Washington.
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
It's easy as
someone will
that.
bring it to you.
Someone will bring it to you.
Yeah. Well, I told you I'd keep this somewhat short. I know our listeners like to listen when they're, driving to work or maybe on their way to a tournament or cabin fever during the off season. But we try to keep them kind of short. So, you know what? I just want to jump in and
Yeah.
just start talking about the UMAX because, like I said, I was able to see it in person. I saw some of the early reviews on it, and like every video I saw, they did a pretty good walkthrough, but they
Mhm.
each seemed to be focused on a specific thing. They kind of honed in on either stability or how fast is it or how can you rig it out the best. But as you see it in person, you're like, this is a blank slate. I mean,
Yeah.
this is exactly when you think of Nucanoe all the way back when you first started seeing a Nucanoe and you're like, well, what is that? And you're like, that's whatever you want it to be.
Mhm.
They didn't build it saying you have to fish this way or that way. You want a bow mount, stern mount, you can do whatever you want. You can put the pod in the front, you can use the one in the back. The design, just like I said, knocked it completely out of the park. What do you think someone that's like walking up on the UMAX for the first time, what do you think is something that not the swivel seat? Can't say the swivel seat because you've done that. What's something that you think would jump out to them right away is like something that's really innovative for the angler?
Yeah, I think the bow flare was one that's going to stand out because it's different than something we've done in the past. So for those who haven't seen it, there's photos of that, but you're really is going to get a lot more bow flare on you on this UMAX compared to the Unlimited or really honestly other kayaks in the market, and it performs phenomenally. I was a little skeptical in the design phase on it because I was like, I don't know if it's going to shunt water the way we're hoping it does. It does. I really had to go back and track back with James, and I was like killer. That it's really nice. Makes it all more like skiff-like as you go through the water. Definitely a drier experience.
Yeah, I would love that. I um I think getting my hands on one, taking it up with Chuck Earls after some
Yeah.
walleye on Lake Erie would
Yep.
probably be putting it through the paces. I know there's been some people that have done some things to figure out how dry it is or how well it takes on water. But here in Ohio, I mean, Lake Erie is really shallow, and that weather can turn on you pretty quickly. And you have your batteries and you're prepared, safety first. But there's nothing wrong with being dry on your way back to the ramp if you have to bail on your fishing trip. So I
Yeah.
think there's going to be some videos, especially with all these 360 cameras and everyone seems to have a GoPro. You guys are going to you're going to have some content from anglers that is going to
Yeah.
be it's going to be so good for marketing because you're just
Yeah.
like, look, there's Billy Kayaks on Lake Erie with Chuck Earls. And that water's just, like you said, when you walk up on it, you can see it right away.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah.
And I think you're right. We've gotten a little bit of good content so far. It's kind of a fun thing to try to showcase, right? Because you're like, okay, let's have the boat come this way, let's make a big wake, and let's just hit it as hard as we can, try to stuff it.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see it kind of flare off the side of it. And you're right. Like I up here in the PNW, I love using our kayaks for crabbing. So I got in the salt. We have the whole Puget Sound comes in, and we do get some waves sometimes and some rollers and stuff like that. So it is really nice to be out there. I even was crabbing off the prototype, which is the foam cut, and then we seal it in there. It's so nice. I didn't realize how much I needed that when I was with Unlimited all the time. It's still a great experience, but when I upgraded to the UMAX, I was like, I got two crab pots. I got myself. I'm out here in rollers. I don't even care. I'm dry. This is excellent.
Right. And the amount of weight that you can put in the boat, I mean, for what you're talking about, I mean, that has to be a huge benefit. I mean, if I was talking to someone, they were like, "Oh, I'm thinking about taking my kid out, or I'm thinking about taking my dog out." I'm like, "Oh, come here. Come here. I got something for you." And when they
Yeah.
see the amount of space in the front, because not everyone's taking, 10, 3600 Plano boxes with them. Some people want
Yep.
to take their dog, and
Yeah.
there's room. I mean, your dog can lay down. You can. It's pretty amazing. How much room if you just compare? I mean, I can look side by side at like an
Yeah.
unlimited and the max, but if you how much room did you actually add in the kayak?
It's hard to put like a cubic measurement on it, but it's significant. Like, and the biggest thing is the perception of room, if that makes sense. Like when you're on it, there was a lot of thought and discussion on built-in versus open-ended, right? So customization is core to our DNA of what we do. When we designed the UMAX, we pushed that boundary a little bit. 'Cause you got the stern pod built in. You still have like a lot, like every inch has a thought that went on the sides as you're coming down. So there is dedicated space and ideas, but you still have a lot of open platform. So when you stand in it, the perception of room is really high. Like there's just a lot of real estate up ahead of you. You can hedge your seat back even farther on the UMAX and just like have open-ended room. That's where the gear pod comes in. Like not trying to built in the storage up front, leaving it open, dog, second person, whatever you want. Um,
And then
yeah,
I should probably know this, but where do you get the gear pod? Is that something you go through your dealer, or do you go through your dealer? Okay.
open-ended. So you can go
Okay.
through your dealer. That's the best way to go for it. We always push through the dealer. So when you're picking up your kayak, get your gear pod up on the front if that's something you want to do. I always recommend the gear pod just because you don't have to put it in. I love building on my gear pod to specific fisheries, and then I just go grab that gear pod, has everything I need, and I just drop it on my kayak. And at
Yeah.
this point, it's for the Flint, U10, Unlimited, and UMAX all take the same gear pod. So it's really interchangeable.
And you did talk about the one in the back. And one of the first things you notice is that it's molded into the kayak. So
Yep.
anyone who's ever had a tub or anything like that, like it's not, and there's channels to drain the water away from it. If you run your batteries in there, it's completely sealed in the bottom. There's no
Yep.
chance of water getting in and coming up. I mean, you're gonna use the through, you're gonna seal it up with all those. And that's pretty amazing. And then that latch,
Yeah.
tell me about that latch a little bit because I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the snap latch.
Yeah,
So the whole idea on the stern pod, right? Like if you go back to kind of the conceptual of like designing it, the first anxiety that's coming up is water intrusion, right? This project has been done before, and there's been water intrusion in the past with some other people who've designed out pods. Um, so we wanted to just nip that in the bud from the beginning, and there's a couple ways we accomplished that. Those deep grooves you're talking about, they work. Like the channel, it runs the water straight out, so you're not trying to pool water on top of your seal, which helps. You have a good angle on it, it's dropping out. The snap latches might be the single biggest part of how dry that stern pod is. They are heavy duty. They came off of a design that our James, our internal designer, did it when he was like in grad school or something like that. Like he had
wow.
this like box he made, and he's like, "Oh, I designed a latch back in the day," and he pulls out this old latch off this tackle box he designed, and then basically we blew it up, made it a little heavier duty, and put an N on it. But it is good, it is there, and it is tight.
Something that you're going to put batteries in. I mean, you could use it for your camping gear. You could put your dry gear in there. You could put your lunch in there. You could do whatever you want. You could put the dog food in there. I mean, soggy dog food. Who wants that? But
Yeah.
if you have batteries in there and then you latch it shut, right away, like the batteries are not getting water. So when I call it, you know, likely the driest kayak on the market, I'm not just talking about your feet when it's raining. I'm saying the kayak is dry. I'm not kidding. And a big
Yeah.
part of that is the scupper plugs, right?
Yeah, the performance cover plugs are a really interesting concept. They're we've been trying to crack that nut for a long time of how to really upgrade the scuppers because it's fine like going from the top down like we've done in the past. It's still a great scuppering process, but we wanted something a little bit more tunable. And when we went to the 16 scuppers, that is for drainage and it's also for structural stability, right? Like there's kiss offs and bump offs, but they're not necessarily the best answer for how to get that structural support. We've kind of grown in our designs and grown in our company, and it's really scuppers are the answer for us at this point. So putting those 16 in, it gets a lot of structural stability. Like there's a lot of there's not you're getting away from soft points, you're getting away from structural like cracks or lack of plastic. They're really good. So we put
Yeah.
16 of those in. We brought in the tunable performance scuppers, and they're excellent. What they do is they cap the bottom, right? So we're getting more efficiency through the water. We're not sucking water up. And we can tune them so you can open them up. Like one t turn is good to go. You're able to drain. How I run mine is I open the ones around my feet and in the back. So any water that does come on drains out, but I don't have to keep them all open at the same time. I can if I want to, but I just keep those like 4 or 6 open.
Nice. And then I did notice because at the expo, the kayaks aren't upside down; they're
Yeah.
displayed so everyone can see them. And I climbed underneath, and I noticed they're actually molded. The cover is molded, so it's like it fits perfect. It's a smooth bottom. For whatever reason, I was thinking they were going to be like flat on the bottom, like a toggle bolt or something, but they're actually it's molded, so they're flush.
Yeah, yeah, that is keeping flush because you don't want to catch anything as you're going through there, but you also just want to make as smooth of a surface as you can as you're cutting through the water. Um, and I think it really is gonna pay dividends down the road for the user experience at the end of the day.
Yeah. So the other kayak brands, you're on notice. They're self-bailing scuppers and no more of the blue 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 when you're.
No,
That's my
yeah,
impression
no
of the
more of the
noise.
jumping on your kayak and having it like spurt up like a little fountain on you everywhere.
Right. Having friends and family go, why are there holes in your kayak?
Why are there holes? I think the number of times I've been asked, why are there holes in the kayak and will it float? It's a lot.
Yeah. And then we get to why didn't you just buy a boat?
Why didn't you just buy a boat? That's
Um,
probably the most liked comment when every time someone's like, why didn't you just buy a boat? I think they just travel to all the different brands' videos just to comment and like that comment.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think recently on a video, I think Chad Hoover said it best. He was like, so if you bought all of these electronics, you know, a spot lock motor, two graphs, not everyone does all that, and all this
Yeah.
fishing gear and everything, and you put all that on a boat, where where'd you save money? They
Yeah.
just they want to focus on the so anyway, I don't have to preach to the choir. Um,
Yeah. No, it's I mean I think anyone in the industry we see it, right? Like it's a niche because it's cheaper, right? Like, we don't want to go drop like $60,000 on it, but like no, like you can have a rigged out kayak for a fraction of the price and you can get places that the boats can't.
yeah. Now it is gonna the UMAX. It's gonna look like a boat when someone puts two seats on it, which
Yeah.
you could easily do.
Yeah.
You want, like I said, you want to take your kid out, you want to take, significant other or a buddy or whatever, you can do it. And the amount of weight it can carry, like, 500, 550 or something before you get into any issues. Not that there's issues, but, and,
Yeah.
like seven, is it like 750?
750 on the max, yeah, when you turn all those performance cuppers closed and you put in the last cupper in the TRS. Honestly, I think most people running it, you're gonna keep them open. You have such a high weight capacity, and that's the numbers we say, and they're pretty conservative to be honest. We were out on the prototype. We put 1,400 pounds with all of us. We all just kept stacking in it and opening them up, and it was floating. I wouldn't love taking 7 anglers on a UMAX at the same time. It was ridiculous, but it worked and it floated, which was amazing to see.
Yeah.
Um, but I think you hit the nail on the head. That's a huge benefit for the UMAX and something we've done at Nucanoe for a long time is like the second seat can stay in the garage. When you want to go tandem, drop it on there, take them out with you. When you don't, leave in the garage. It's not a whole backup kayak, it's one seat.
Yeah. And you notice it again. I hate to keep saying when you walk up on it, but you do notice that the rail goes the length of the kayak pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, to your point, you can put the seat all the way back to give yourself more room, or you can move around if you have two seats in there. And then the UMAX, you're not going to have to add any rails, the T
Yeah.
tracks to add any. No, there's not going to be much drilling when it comes to adding accessories because Unlimited put T tracks on this boat for you already, including in the back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all over. I mean, I can't think of a spot you would want to add track. That's kind of what we do in the design process, and we're not stingy on track. Like that's never it never comes into the conversation because we're like, well, track's great. Like let's just put it everywhere that it makes sense to put it because we don't know. We don't want to dictate how you guys are going to use the UMAX. We just want to give you options. I'm always blown away when I see the boats hit the market and then the way that people adapt and use them is fantastic.
Oh, for sure. It always gives me anxiety to start drilling into a new kayak anyway, cutting holes
Yeah.
and doing all that. So, oh, I don't even want to think about that. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of and I haven't really done a deep dive to compare it to other models, but I noticed the UMAX does have a lot of padding in there. Talk to me about like the thought of there's no you don't have to buy a kit, you don't have to upgrade it later. It comes with a ton of padding, even where your baits and your boxes I mean, the sound through the water, especially if you're in a tournament, you're fishing, that there's a lot of thought put into that.
Yeah, yeah, the decking kit is really well thought out. There's a couple main things we always look for, which is sound, like you mentioned, comfortability for like heat and cold, both directions. It's really nice to kind of get some extra there. And then like where you're gonna set stuff. And you really nailed it. Like putting it inside places where you're gonna set something down is just a level of thought on the kayak that kind of helps explain what went into everything, like all the drill drainage points and like how you're gonna set your stuff. It's a very user-friendly kayak. You can get in it from day one, like you said, not a lot of drilling, not a lot of adaptations, and get out there and have a really high-performing kayak for a price point that you're not gonna see with some other options.
That's right. And then I just remembered that if you're part of the Ohio Kayak Fishing OKF, I don't know if we've been really talking about this, but spoiler or announcement now or whatever. Um, Tournament of Champions for OKF, we are giving away an unlimited, strictly sale is giving away an unlimited max for the TOC prize. So it's not the AOY prize because for the TOC, we want everyone who qualified to come out and give that person a run for their money. So in the fall of 2026 for OKF, you could be the proud owner of a UMAX. I don't know the color yet. You don't care. It's a free kayak, right? What what colors does it? I saw one. Derek Brundle had like a green one,
Yeah,
like a
nuclear
brighter.
green.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
then the
very excited about.
yeah the one we had at the show was like a camo. What's that color called?
Army camo, and then there's Tundra and Thunderstorm. So you kind of have like the grayish one with the black with Thunderstorm. Tundra is my personal favorite with the greens and like the white up on the bow and all that stuff. Army camo, it's the best selling new canoe color that's ever been.
Yeah.
But there is also Hazard. It's not on our main list, but we are producing Hazard, which is that bright orange color that does exist. You might see that out in the wild.
Oh shoot, you
Yeah.
already saw my hat. Now
Yeah.
you're gonna have me pick up another kayak.
There you
All right.
go.
I already told Tasty, like, I like this one a lot. Like, I was
Yeah.
really talking about, I kept bringing people over to it. I'm like, hey, part of it might be the newness of it. Part of it is just like we've already talked about, the amount of thought that went into the design. Um,
Yeah.
and then we talked about, drilling and adding. So one thing that comes up for some anglers would be your motor, right? Check your state laws. You have to have a paddle with you. Come on. But if you're going to put a motor on it, that handle on the front, I always say front and back instead of stern and what's the other one?
Wow.
Bow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian's like
Hey.
cringing right now if he's listening. He's like, come on. But that handle is
Yeah.
beefy.
It's beefy for sure. And like that was that credit mostly like that's James, like all the way through. It's a huge jump forward for us because it's replaceable, right? Like you can go. So for those who haven't seen it, it's the grip mount plate, and what it does is it's like three different things in one. It's a really good handle because you have a bigger kayak, right? So it gives you a good sturdy place to grab. It's rounded, so the ergonomics are awesome on it. It extends at the end of your bow or the front, right? If you hit things, you're gonna hit that plate first most of the time, which is awesome because if you ever needed to, you can replace that one component. It locks down with four different fasteners on the bow of your kayak right there. But what's really cool is if you take it off and flip it over, your Tarova pucks for your quick release can mount straight to it. So on the underside, you have catches for the nuts. All you gotta do is finish drilling out the last little bit of plastic there, and you're ready to go. You don't need an adapter. You just put that puck straight on there, and you're in business. Yeah, so I think that's one of the a big jump forward on it. It locks right into place. It has kind of some nesting on the front of your UMAX there.
Yeah. Again, just put the angler first or kind of getting to the mind of the angler. I mean, there's not like a little X, drill here or here's your template. Like it's
Yeah,
ready to go and you just have to finish it. That's great. I did see one video where they took it off or they didn't take it off. They had like a spare one that they
yeah,
showed and I was just like, wow. Yeah, that's pretty legit. Also, I mean, you talked about the water, going away from when you're going through the water, but that handle, you notice that handle right away, the
yeah.
quality of it. So let's go to the back of the boat, as
Hmm.
Billy Kayaks would say. And so you're going to put NK300 or a Torpedo or whatever, 5 horsepower gas motor. I don't know what people are doing. How easy is it to put a motor on the back?
Yeah, it's amazingly easy at this point. The EPS system is our electric propulsion simplified. It's part of our Quick Connect family, and it's very, very easy. You can choose hand or foot steering. Again, not there's no drilling involved. Like you said, the anxiety of drilling in your kayak is real. And between the grip mount plate up front and then the EPS system in the back, you don't have to do it. So when you're dropping your EPS system on the back, it goes in. There's tracks all the way for you. It's T-bolts. You tighten them down. You run through the transom there. Choose foot or hand steering, and then it's like a one pin system. You just drop on that NK1 180, 300, whatever you want to do, Torpedo, pin it in, and you're in business. You can put a rudder on the same system, choose your motor, very adaptable.
So there's no more watching 2 minutes of the video, pausing it, rewinding it. Wait, where do I drill? What do I do?
Yep.
It's ready to go. That was one of the questions that I was getting at the expo was if I'm putting a motor back here, like how does that work? So yeah. And again, something you can get from your dealer, probably.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, head up your local dealer. They're going to be knowledgeable on how the system works and help getting you some hands-on for it. I do want to encourage everybody, like you can do this at home. Like you can get these materials from your dealer. A lot of dealers will rig it out for you if you want, but you don't have to. It's very easy to put these systems together. And the 1 foot steer is something that's unique to Nucanoe. I will tell you, you'll use it for 15 seconds and you will be in love. It's like I get the goofiest little grin on my face, and I'm like cruising the lake with the 3 horsepowers, and it's like toe forward. I'm going to the right, heel up, going to the left, and it's just fun.
Yeah. The first time I saw it, I was like, where's the other pedal?
Yep.
Where how do you, and then he explained it. So I was like, oh, okay. That makes sense. Um, what am I missing? There's got to be some more features that we haven't talked about.
One thing would be the max ports. So every UMAX comes with 2 max ports, and the max port is kind of a rethought out gasket sealing system. So it's for rigging. So if you do decide to drill into your kayak, it kind of acts as another point to kind of ease you into that, right? So if you put a hole there, the max port is going to go over the top. It has a big gasket on it. You can pull it into 2 components. And it's really, really heavy duty and it's really, really healing, if that makes sense. Like if you drill through it, it's really gummy. It'll grab around those wires. In fact, for testing, we took a bucket and we filled it with water. And we put the max port at the bottom, ran 2 6-gauge wires through it, filled it up with water, and it wouldn't even drip through. We left it like all day. No, not a single drip came through. Um, and you can use those. It comes with two. The idea is if you do want to turn your stern pod into your battery system and you want to run your wires through your hole, keep a really clean deck, and pull up to your bow mount motor, you can do that and you won't see wires up until they pop out up at your motor, and it's really easy with those Anderson plugs. In fact, our HD wire kit is already like wired up for you. All you got to do is drill the hole in the front there, and then in your stern pod, which are really clear in the instructions, and it's already wired. You just run it through, attach it onto your HD access port up at the front, and you're in business.
Yeah, and you wouldn't when you look at it, it's going to be out because like we talked about, the pod in the back is molded into the kayak. So one of the first things where do I drill the hole? It's like over here. It's right next to it.
Yeah.
There's a big spot and you go, "Oh, that somebody already thought of that." So,
Yeah. There's a lot of like kind of open-ended areas, right? Like there's a thought and a direction if that's what the route you want to take, and then there's the other ones too. Like you can go either way. Like it is possible you could go through the lid if you want to. If there's a reason in your build you want to put that max port in the lid, it'll work. Even with the rain coming straight down on it, it's not going to be an intrusion point with how well those are sealing. So up on the gunnel, inside your stern pod, on the lid, the choice is yours. But there is a roadmap for you if you want to do what the most conventional way is. It's in the instructions.
I love it. Other than like putting unlimited stickers on it or something like that, I don't think there's anything else anyone could do. It's ready to go. All you have to do is go
Yeah.
pick one up. So,
Yeah.
remind us again what the retail value is on that.
Yeah, 24.99 is where it's gonna be for that UMAX, and it's a pretty good bang for the buck on that one.
For sure. And we, OKF, CKF, I've been talking a lot about the tournament fishing. We're after black bass here in Ohio. But
Yeah.
if you're on Hoover and you're trying, that's a local reservoir here, and you're trying to catch blue cats, or you want to go, duck hunting, or if you're like me and you're into photography and you've always wanted a photo, boat, a media boat to chase the other kayaks around, I could easily do that. I wouldn't be tournament legal because I'd probably put a bigger motor on it, but
Yeah.
because of how dry it is, I could turn a UMAX into a media boat. That was one of my first thoughts. But there's so many different things you can do with this boat. If you just want to go out and you have someone in your family, someone that's not really super comfortable with the water like we are, and you put them in that boat, they're going to be very comfortable. Stability is pretty amazing from what
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely consider one of those kayaks where the initial confidence is there. You put anyone in it and they stand up in it, and they feel good moment one, right? That primary and secondary stability. Like they get in the seat, they're like, "Oh, this is high." And as soon as it goes out in the water, they're like, "Oh, I get it. This is great." And then they're trying to stand up and then they walk around. Like you can have a whole experience under UMAX of like walking to the bow and to the stern. I can get over the seat. I just close it and step over it.
Right. And I know we all love YouTube and we totally geek out on watching all these reviews and everything. But when you see the UMAX on a video, there's a lot of drone videos. They're really cool shots. There's a lot of drone videos or shot higher up. And it's one of those where you really have to see it in person. If you want
Yeah.
to see, because I did ask you how much room you add to the kayak, you really have to see it. And
Yeah.
I talked about the weight already, but it's so impressive when you see it in person. So find someone
Yeah.
that has one and go see it.
Yeah. One topic that we didn't touch on were the tunnels. So the horizontal rod stage like storage tunnels.
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out one of the things in the past, like if you look at other models we've done, like the Pursuit, uh, we always drilled holes and then ran tubing internally on those. But we flipped the script and like redesigned it because that can be a big water intrusion, and that's a theme that we've talked about this whole podcast, right? Is water intrusion and the UMAX like really trying to get all those areas that it could out of the project. So the tunnel is actually designed, if you see it, it has a cap on it and then it's molded in. So there's no point for water to even get into the hole because there's no cracks or intrusions or drilling involved. It's just one molded piece with a lid on top of it, and that's a huge step forward for the UMAX. Even if you just dump water in there, it's not getting into your hole.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if there's water in there, it's because you put it in there and
Yeah,
it's
and it's
coming
also
back
sloped.
out.
It's just gonna come back out and it's just gonna drain out your scuppers. There's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah. That's, yeah, I don't know how I forgot about that one. That's a pretty big deal. And then it's got a little place where the butt of your rod would sit there, and then
Yeah.
they go in there, and you can even leave them rigged up if you don't want to bring your line all the way back to your handle. You could leave it a little further up so you can just grab the rod and cast. You're ready to go, depending on your setup, what you're doing, how badly you want to catch some bass that day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, let me. Of course, we talked about the UMAX a lot because
Yeah.
it's obviously new and I'm excited about it. What are some of the other kayaks you would like to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the UMAX, the Unlimited, is just that workhorse that it's been for the last like handful of years. It is just hard. It's hard to design anything because you're like the Unlimited is such a good kayak. So as the UMAX comes out, watching them kind of all settle into their lanes of like what they're really excellent at. The Unlimited is so good because like you can still rig it out for tournaments, and someone who's a little bit older can still put it on top of their car, right? That's still an option with the Unlimited, and it can kind of sit in that throw and go hunting sphere. My favorite kayak is still the U10. I mean, I love this UMAX, and it might become my favorite, but the U10 is my choice of kayak 9 times out of 10. I drive a Tacoma and I just shove it in the back, and then that thing I will bounce it down banks, get into the rivers, strip it down, rig it out. Like it is phenomenal, especially on my big wild rivers up here in the PNW. There's just a lot of CFS. I put like the 3 horsepower in the back and I just work the seam lines. We go from nothing to shallow. It's an amazing kayak for that. And then the Flint. The Flint's kind of the one that's not in the unlimited series that we kind of some people tend to kind of not mention all the time. It is such a good boat. It's just a different boat, right? Like I use it and I love it for running rivers because I can take it and manipulate it so easily with a paddle stroke. I can hit the seam line, give like one paddle stroke, and I can just whip that tail end around, sit in an eddy, wherever it needs to go, and I still stand up and fly fish out of it. Like it's just a great boat for that. And then pick it up over the head, walk it up the bank, throw it in the back of the truck, throw it up on top of the rack.
I love that you can put them in the bed of your truck. I have a kayak that's almost 14 feet, and
Yeah.
I also have a Tacoma. I put it in the bed of my Tacoma. So anyone that's like, well, the UMAX, but maybe the unlimited, because I'm not sure. I don't have a trail. You can put a
Yeah.
UMAX in your trail. I know manufacturers. I don't know what the dealer would. This is just me. This is Billy
Yeah.
Kayak saying you can put a UMAX in the bed of your Tacoma, 5.5 foot bed. You have a bed extender. Put a flag on it. You are going to be fine.
Yeah, to put on that, like I ran them in the back of my Tacoma, the UMAX. It does work. You just gotta know what you're doing. Strap them down the
Yeah.
right way and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Since we're giving tips, what I'll tell you is you get in front of a really good driver and then you just stay there.
You
So
just let them worry about it. It's gonna be
let
great.
them worry
They'll
about it.
call you if something's wrong if
Yeah.
they're your buddy.
They're a good driver. Like
Yeah.
if they're tailgating you or whatever, just slow down. They'll go around you. That's probably horrible advice.
Just
Um,
get that flag. Make sure there's a flag on
Put
it.
the flag on it. Yes. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I'm really excited. I know to have someone on here that can that you know what we were missing, and that was a great explanation of that kayak. And I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I can't wait to see our local trail. I can't wait to see who gets in one of these boats and then or kayaks. And I'm gonna be running over there and checking it out at the boat ramp for sure, and just see what they did. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to see how it plays out in not just your region, but the nation as a whole. And it's just a really exciting time in the kayak fishing world. But yeah, thanks for having me, and I look forward to coming on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Anything I'm missing? Anything else you want to shout out, or anything else you want to say before we wrap it up or end it?
I mean, there's so many things, but just be on the lookout. We have a lot of cool projects coming down the pipeline, and hit up your local dealer and your hands on one of these UMAXs. You'll understand what the hype's about.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brian. Go Seahawks and enjoy the weather down there in
Yeah,
Florida.
thanks. Yeah, it's getting a little bit
So,
warmer, and yeah, go Seahawks.
yeah. All right. I'll see you next time. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.